Matt Curtis Productions, an independent company, presents Matt and Friends, City of Division. A series spin-off of the online game, City of Division.
A landscape comes into view. West, a long strip of forested area. To the east, a wide main road. Then, the image zooms in on a city square in the middle of a small town. There are several people walking around, chattering with each other, or just hanging out. They all seem to be happy and careless. In the small park, directly south of the town square, a few older people stroll along the gravel paths. The next morning, two kids are walking along the sidewalk, both with school bags on their back. The street is calm, with barely any traffic passing by. The kids pass a church, and are nearing a house with a garden surrounded by low hedges. In the garden, a man called Jim stands, shouting at the kids. He has a can of beer in his hand, and is clearly drunk. Fuckers! Scared, the two young kids start running off, towards a large school building in the distance. The view switches to the kitchen of Family Smith, where Smith and his wife are finishing up breakfast. While the woman is busy with the dishes, Mr. Smith picks up his coffee cup and takes a sip. They both stop and listen. A furious expression crosses Smith's face and he slams his coffee cup on the table, stands up, and runs out the door onto the sidewalk. He comes up to the garden of James, where James stands drunkenly with a can of beer in his hand.
Shut up, fucking idiot!
Smith stops, turns, and punches James straight in the face. James attempts to hit Smith, but his blow misses. Then Smith grabs him by the collar, hits him again and then pushes him into the garden's hedge. He runs through the gap in the hedge and kicks James in the ribs, who's laying on the ground. Finally James manages to kick him against the leg, but then Smith stomps down on James's right knee, with brute force. The next day, Mr. Smith walks down the sidewalk, with his two kids walking in front of him. When they come near James' house, Smith stands still. He looks over at James's garden, and sniffs the air, while worry creeps up his face. Then he gestures to his kids to continue on, and turns around, heading for the path leading through the garden. He walks down the stone path towards the front door. When he comes closer, he notices that the door is open a crack. Slowly pushing open the door, he enters the silent house. But after a few steps into the entrance hall, he stops dead in his tracks, listening. Carefully, he investigates, but stops again when he sees a large puddle of something on the ground. When he inspects the puddle more closely, he notices it is half-dried blood, which drips from the ceiling at irregular intervals. Alarmed, Smith moves around the puddle and continues down the corridor. He briefly glances into the abandoned kitchen to his right. Then at the end of the hallway he turns left, walking up a set of stairs. At the top of the first landing, Smith peeks around the corner. He doesn't see anything and continues to walk up the second flight of stairs. Reaching the landing, he turns right towards the open door of a bedroom. The back of an office chair becomes visible, with James sitting in it. Smith enters the room, reaches out, and turns the office chair around. James' dead body flops heavily onto the ground. His throat has been cut, spraying blood all over the computer he had been sitting behind. Smith stares down at the body, shock written all over his face.
Later that afternoon, in James's driveway, two men and one woman can be seen. Text reads, Matt, Francis and Chloe visit James's house and figure out what has happened to James and who did it. All three can be seen with glasses on, hands to their sides.
Okay, are you three reading me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. Mr. Smith called your office, Matt. I picked up and he said something about a man named James being killed. I'm sending you guys the address, along with a picture of his house. We need to find evidence of James's death. The shitty part is, local law enforcement refused to get involved unless we have proof of this. However, I could be wrong. Just find the evidence and get back on the wire when you can. Over and out.
Matt looks at the others.
Okay guys, you heard him. Let's figure the shit out. Make sure you've got a good amount of ammo, because we packed enough and I know I supplied you with a lot, but make sure you don't jam your shit, because if you do I don't have a way to help you. Let's get moving.
They start walking towards the house.
Okay, look over there. There's James's house. We need to go in. Okay, Francis and my love, stay down here with your weapons and watch the perimeter. Our glasses have a camera, just like how they have a built-in radio, so if you need to see something I'm looking at, just press the rightmost button. Anyways, I'm going up.
Matt starts walking towards the stairs. Drawing his revolver, he looks around and makes sure it's clear. Walking up the stairs, he wonders if James is really dead. Opening the door, he sees the body of James on the ground, his throat slit.
Smith wasn't bullshitting, look at this. That's a body alright. Okay, there's definitely a body up here, not sure if that's James or not.
Okay, so if that's the body, do we know if that's James? Didn't the picture show if this was his house or not?
The map brought us here. So, I'm sure that's most likely James's body. Without a doubt, Francis to control. We found what seems to be the body. Matt did. Anyway, this is control. Hold your angle there. Let me look at Matt's video feed. This is definitely James's body. Supposedly a paper boy came by and delivered the paper into a mailbox. You may want to check that. I've made a photocopy for evidence of the body.
Okay then, come back down to us, love.
Matt closes the door, knowing this wouldn't be the last time he'd have to deal with incidents like this. Upon closing the front door, Francis turns to Matt with a toolbox in his hand.
Matt, I've got you something.
Perfect, just what I needed. Now I can help you guys with jammed weapons if they are jammed at any point.
The view switches to Chloe, who walks around the garden area that connects to the driveway, looking for something. She hits her knee on something.
That hurt, but let me see. Is this a mailbox of some kind?
She pulls out a newsprint that reads, "The main suspect in the case of James's murder is the 46-year-old Mr. A. Smith, who had an argument with the victim the day James was murdered." Many witnesses also told the police that the victim had more arguments with his neighbors, especially about the 25-year-old man's alcohol consumption and aggressive behavior. Her face drains of color as she reads. The view switches to Matt, who is adding attachments to both his and Francis's weapons. Chloe walks up to them.
You guys, we need to go to Andrew's house. I have the newspaper and it says that Andrew was involved in the murder, although it says A, and someone did tell Control about that, right? Anyway, the thing is we need to investigate Andrew's house.
We did tell Control and yeah, they did say to investigate Andrew's house, so let's go. Okay, me and my love will stay down here. Francis, you go up.
Okay then. Keep me covered though.
Francis goes to the stairs and walks up them. He walks to the bedroom and goes inside, looking for something.
What's this? A desk? And I see a knife, but it looks longer than the knives we were given. Let me see something.
Francis starts comparing the two, then picks the longer one up.
Let me show this to the others using this camera thing. I found what looks to be a long knife. Anyone want to take a look here?
Let me look. Hold your position. Jesus, I see bloodstains on it thing. Mad to Control. We found what looks to be a long knife in Andrew's house. However, there are bloodstains on it. So can you see if this might be linked to Andrew? Or can you, along with sending us transport, send someone to collect this and do DNA tests on it? This is Control. I'm sending some people to collect the knife as evidence and sending a chopper to collect you. Leave the long knife, grab yours and go out there.
Okay, Francis, put that down. Grab yours and come down to us.
Francis does exactly that, and runs down the stairs, wanting to go back home.
Okay, I'm here. Let's go, dudes.
Flashback, last night, 11:30 p.m.
In the middle of the night, the dark garden of James slowly becomes visible. It's full of shadows, casted by a large tree and a few other objects. From the second floor, a faint glow light shines through a window, probably from a computer screen. Then, a well-built man dressed entirely in black walks onto the garden path. He wears a balaclava and holds a large knife in his right hand. When he is at the door, he places his knife on the ground, followed by a small backpack. He opens the backpack and rummages inside. After which he pulls out a small lock-picking tool. He starts working on the lock of the door, turning the tool around. Then he pulls the tool out, opens the door, and picks his knife and backpack up again. The view switches to James, who sits behind his computer in the middle of the night, his broken legs stretched out. It is clear he is browsing online, looking to buy a firearm. Several handguns pass the screen as James clicks away with his mouse. Now, the man with the balaclava is sneaking through the hallway, knife held steadily in hand. He reaches the end of the short corridor and turns left towards a staircase. He carefully trudges up the stairs, listening to the keyboard clicks coming from the second floor, a faint smile curling around his lips as he rounds a corner and climbs the second staircase. At the top of the stairs, the man turns right, looking at the back of James' head. View switches back to James, who's still typing away as he hears a sound behind him. He straightens in his chair, startled, his eyes anxiously fixed onto the computer screen. Then the man in black comes up behind him and drags the knife across his throat. Blood splatters everywhere, staining the computer, window and the wall. Then the man in black grabs his balaclava and pulls it off. It is Andrew.